177, carriage of my Part 177, carriage by public highway. Subpart 8, general information regulations. The purpose and scope of this part, responsibility for the complying with the train. Unacceptable hazards material for the shipment. 801, 802 for the inspection. 804 for the complying with the federal motor carrier safety regulation. 810 with the vehicular train and tunnel with the 816 driver train with the 817 shifting papers. 823 movement of the motor vehicle for the emergency situation. Subpart G. Subpart B, unloading. 834 general requirements. 855. 835 class 1 materials. 837 class 3 materials. Class 838 class 4 flammable solvent material for the class 5 oxidating material division 4-2. Self-heating pyrolytic liquid materials. 839 class 8 corrosive materials. 840 class 2 gases. 841 division 6-1 division 2-3 materials. Class 842 class 7 radioactive material. Class 8-4 the contaminating of the vehicles. Subpart C, segregation separation charts of the hazardous material. 848 separation of hazardous material. Subpart D, vehicle the shipment of the transit accidents. 854 disabled vehicle, the broken leakage packing repair. Subpart E, regulations applying with the hazardous material of the motor vehicle for the carrying passenger on highway. 870 regulation for the passenger carrying vehicles. Subpart A, general information for the regulation, purpose of the scope of the part, the responsibility of complying with the training, purpose of the part of the prescribed requirements in addition to those contained in the part 171, 172, 173, 178, 180 for the subchapter that are applicably accepted for the transportation of the hazardous material by private common contract carrier of the motor vehicles. Responsibility for complying with them left for the subchapter specifically provide that another person from the ship will perform the particular duty each of the carrier, including the connection of the carrier shall perform the duty specified with comply with all applicable requirements of this part, shall ensure the hazmat employee with receive the training and in relationship thereof, the responsibility with the training of the carrier may not transport hazmat material by motor vehicle unless each of the hazmat employee involved in the transportation is trained and is required for the part with the subpart H of the part 172 for the subchapter. No necessity, no unnecessary delay of the movement of the shipment. All shipment of hazmat material must be transported without unnecessary delay from and include the time of the commencement of the loading of the hazmat material until the final unloading of the destination. Part 17801 and 77801. Unacceptable hazmat material for the shipment. No person may accept the transport with the motor vehicle with the forbidden material for the hazmat material that is not prepared with the requirements of the subchapter. 177-802 inspection records equipment, the package of the day and under the control of the motor carrier insofar as the fact that the safety of the transportation has material of the motor vehicle must be made available for examination inspection by duly authorized representative of the department. 177-804 for the compliance with the federal motor carrier safety regulations. Motor carrier the other than personal safety part must comply with the Title 49 CFR Part 38 383 with the Title 49 390 397 excluding 397.3 and 397.9 to the extent that those regulations apply. Additional prohibition person for the transporting quantity of the hazardous material for the requirement of the black card under the Title 49 CFR Part 17010 any quantity with the material listed in selected agent toxin. Title 42 CFR Part 173 must comply with the safe clearance requirement for the highway rail grade crossing with issue 392 with the 12 the title may not engage in allow for the requiring texting while driving in accordance with 39280 and the title may not be engaged the allowable required for the handheld mobile telephone while driving in accordance with the statute 39282 of this title. 177-810 with the vehicular tunnel, except with regard to the class 7 the radioactive material enough to contain with the part 171-89 the subchapter of the ship to contribute with the nullify with the supersede with the regulation established in public ownership thereof the statutory state with the statute and municipality ordinance regarding the kind of the character quantity of the hazardous material permitted with such for the regulation be transported through an urban vehicular tunnel for the mass transportation. 177-816 driver training. In addition with the training requirement of the 177-800 no carrier must be made transport with the cover of the transport hazardous material unless each of the employees will operate with the motor vehicle has been trained in applicable requirements of Title 49 CFR Part 390 to 397 the procedure with the necessary for the safe operation of the motor vehicle. Driver training shall include the following subject 3 trip safety inspection of the vehicle control equipment including operation of emergency equipment operation vehicle including turning backing and braking with the parking handling the vehicle with the characteristics include these affect with the vehicle stability such as the effect of the braking and cursive effects of the speed of the vehicle, the control dangers associated with the maneuver through the curve of the dangers associated with the weather and road condition the driver must experience the blizzard mountainous terrain and high winds with a certain gravity to achieve the maneuvering tunnel bridge for the railroad crossing with the protecting the accidents, vehicle parking, smoking routine and incident report, and loading and unloading material that include the compatibility with the segregation of the cargo mixed load with packaging and handling system, the loading segment, special requirements for the cargo tank with the portable tanks in addition with the training requirements paragraph A with the section each of the person who operated with the cargo tank vehicle with a portable tank with a capacity of 1,000 gallons must be received the training with the applicable requirements of this subchapter that have the appropriate state issue for the commercial driver's license required in Title 49 CFR Part 383 specified train shall include the following: operators for the emergency control of the feature cargo tank and a portable tank, special vehicle with a handling character that include with gravity fluid load, subject to the surge with the effect of the fluid surge over the braking character for the difference in the stability among baffled and unbaffled multiple compartment tanks, effect of the partial load of the vehicle stability, loading and unloading, perceive the properties of the material transported, reset, retest inspection requirements for the cargo tank, the train required for the paragraph A and B. The section will be satisfied with the complying with the current requirements of the commercial driver license with the tank, the vehicles, as material endorsed for the training required in paragraph B. If the section must conform with the requirements of 172.704 for the subchapter will respect with the frequency of the record keeping 178.7 shipping paper. The general requirements a person may not accept the hazardous material for transportation, transport hazardous material by highway unless the person has received the shipping paper prepared within accordance with Part 172 for the subchapter. The material is expected with the shipping paper with the requirements under the subchapter. The subsequent carrier that may not transport hazardous material until as for the accompanied with the shipping paper prepared within accordance with Part 172 of the subchapter, except for 172.204 may not require shipper certification initial with the carrier with may not accept the hazardous material offered with the transport with the lease of the last shipper paper to describe the material and the shipper certificate which meet for the requirements of statute 172.204 subchapter for the hazardous waiver the certification not required for the shipment to be transported entirely by the private car carrier for the bulk shipment to transport for the cargo tank supply for the carrier the requirements for the while interlying with the carrier by the rail or motor carriers the shipping of paper required by the section offer delivers freight container with the transport vehicle the rail carrier with the for the transportation the description of the freight container for the transport vehicle the kind of black order effects the freight container with the transport vehicles. This part does not apply with the material except for the shipment and paper requirements specified in 172.200 of subchapter. Shipping paper accessibility the accident with the inspection of the driver motor vehicle with the container has material for each of the carrier using a vehicle. Shall ensure for the shipping paper the required for the section readily available to recognized by authority for the event of the accident inspection. Specifically, the driver of the carrier shall designate this paper that is coordinated over the shipping paper for the other papers and any of the kind of the other distinct typing by having them appearing first. Store the shipping paper as follows. When the driver vehicle control with the shipping paper shall be with the media with the reach with the as restrained with the lap of the belt with the other either readily visible by a person entering with a draining driver of the compartment inside and a holder of the man with the inside of the door of the driver's side of the vehicle. When the driver is not in the vehicle with the control of the shipping paper, there should be a holder in which the man with the inside of the door of the driver's side of the vehicle will be with the driver's seat of the vehicle with the retention and shipping paper. Each of the person receiving the shipping paper, the prescribed with the section must be retained with a copy of the electronic image thereof, the accessible thereof through the place for the business that must make the shipping paper available upon request of the authorized official with the federal, state, and local government agency, the reasonable time location for a hazardous way for the shipping paper to comply with the copy with us for retain 3 years for the material and accept for the interior carrier for all the other material for the shipping paper. The copy may return for 1 year for the after the materials covered by the carrier. Each for the shipping paper must copy include with the date of acceptance for the carrier. The motor carriers defined in statute 395 of the chapter B with the chapter 3 subtitle E. The shipping paper which without the change of the multiple shipment if one of the more has having the same shipping for the identification number will may be retained with a single copy of the shipping paper instead of the copy of each of the shipping made with each of the if the carrier may retain with the record of each of the shipment made with including shipping name and identification. Number of the quantity transported of the day of the shipment at 172.80.23 the movement of the motor vehicle with emergency situation. Carrier may not move the transport vehicle with the hazardous material and left the vehicle with the move the mark with the black card and corner of the part 172 authorized 171.12a subchapter and left the emergency of the vehicle is a source of the representative of the state local government for the carrier the permission for the department or the movement of the transport vehicle to necessary for the protect life and the property disposition center of the cargo taken on safe for the continuing event of the leak of the cargo tank with the so the such character for this make with the road transportation unsafe for the leak of the vehicle should be removed the trap of the portion of the highway every available means of the employ of the safety disposal of leaking material preventing so far with practical spread over the wide area such for the drain transit to drain the hole of the depression in the ground diverting the liquid away from the stream and sewer the possible catching liquid and containment of the practical smoke in the other source of ignition if the vicinity of the leakage cargo tank is not permitted. Moving the leakage cargo tank may be transported only a minimum distance, and if they are reached with the plate for the tons of the tank of the compartment may be disposed safely. Every available means must be utilized to prevent leakage of the disposed liquid to the highway on the highway. So part D, loading and unloading.